All right, welcome to another episode of the Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports NBA Finals post-game reaction bonanza. Wrapping it up this year, Tyler, 2021, Game 6 tonight. Bucks pull it out. They win by 7, 105-98. I tweeted out before the game, Bucks win by 7. Suns win the first quarter. Bet on it. Suns lost the first quarter. But the Bucks won. That's pretty impressive, right? You got to give him some credit on that one.
Very good. You definitely could have made some money if you put some money down on that.
Made some money if I was on that one, but of course I didn't put any money on that one. So if I would have, it would have only been 50 cents anyways, as you know. So that's the way I bet.
Big spender.
Hey, so let's get right into it, man. Bucks champions. It's kind of weird. Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 50 years, 1971, Kareem, the old stories, us growing up in the 90s. The skyhook, the black and white footage, the Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship. I don't know. Your just initial takes. We'll get into the game in a second, but just your initial thoughts of them winning it.
Have the Bucks ever been relevant in our lifetime other than that one Ray Allen big dog year?
And Sam Cassell, don't forget Sam.
The alien, E.T. Have they been relevant other than that one year? I think the only thing I can come to my mind is just because I'm a Warriors fan is when Brandon Jennings put 55 on us, but that was just a one-time spectacle.
Yeah, the Bogut year when they were Fear the Deer, the 8 seed. That was probably it. That year with Big Dog there. You're probably right. I think that's it. I mean, I think they were good a little bit in like the late 80s and stuff like that, but obviously me and you did not care.
Yeah, that was before I had any recollection of what was going on.
It's crazy.
But what a performance by Giannis. The whole, from when he almost tore his knee up, after that, he was something different, something I've never seen before. It was a spectacular play after spectacular play. And I had his troubles a little bit on the line, but just when the ball was in play, moving, he was Shaq mixed with like LeBron defense, like LeBron trying hard defense, but Shaq on offense.
He ends up with 50 points tonight on with 14 rebounds and 16 and 25 from the field. But what's going to make him even
blocks.
5 blocks. Yeah, his defense. We'll get into that in a sec. But I think for a couple things, the defense at the rim, the Suns, every time they drove, they had him to deal with, and they just weren't getting any. They weren't getting much looks at the rim. And then to me, the big thing with him is same with Shaq. He made his free throws, 17 of 19. Are you kidding me? He was like Steph Curry out there making free throws. Like, if he's going to do that, I mean, they lost by 7, right? There were some games where he would have missed like 7 of those and they would have been tied. Like, that's not unreasonable to think that. So
in game 4, he did the same thing at the line. He found his stroke at the line. I don't know if it's a home thing, but those 2 games, he was money from the line.
Well, where's he ranked now? Where's his at? Where's it put him like in the grand scheme of things now after this? Like,
I mean, he has a Finals MVP, 2 times MVP, and 1 Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan's the only guy who's done that. Had multiple MVPs with a Defensive Player of the Year and a Finals MVP. I don't put a top 15, 20 right now, but it's going to go up the more he plays. He's only 26.
Do you think that more people will come to Milwaukee now because he won a championship? Like, let me ask you this. Let me tell you like this. Like, usually in scenarios like this, it feels like when a small team, like a small town wins it, like, it's usually the player's been there for a long time. Like, maybe if the Jazz would have won it. Like, right, Malone and Stockton were there for a long time. They would have gone into the retirement. Nowinski kind of towards the end. Well, Giannis is still in his prime, if not still a few years, maybe even 2 years from his, like, peak, right? Like, just – that fadeaway, you can see it coming even more right now. So, like, I'm just saying, like, is there a chance, like, they get more guys? Or is Middleton, Holiday, and him – it's a weird combination, but it seems to work. It's just, like, I guess maybe because we've never seen it in our lifetime, I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is can they continue this little run here together?
I mean, I don't even think they would have beat the Nets if they were healthy. So, like, but I do think they'll be able to get those old guys like the Warriors were able to get, like a David West. I don't think you're getting prime guys saying, I want to go to Milwaukee and take their $250 million contract, trade it for like, you know what I mean? Like those type of guys.
That's what I'm saying. But even Giannis, the best player, because he might be the best player now, right?
I wouldn't say that, but he had the best run. So, yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know.
man,
It's hard to say. I don't think he's the best player. I think he had the best year.
is he now the most
And he won the
dominant player in the
championship.
NBA? Like, think about it. We haven't had a guy. This is kind of a thing. We haven't had a guy in the NBA that's like, if he can start to play like this in the regular season, where he does the little drive thing, I'm good with. But if he just continues to think offensive rebound and drive towards the rim and he took 3 tonight, but less than 2 threes a game. I mean,
He
he's going to be
started
by
taking
far
2 only. You were very adamant about 2s are bad.
who's
And he
the
started
math.
doing that. They started winning.
But there's
So
really
you
no
nailed
guy
that.
in the NBA right now that can, like, I mean, get what they want under the hoop. Like, not like Durant, Camp, they're all still under finesse type footage. This guy is more just like combination of brute strength, athleticism, and he's very gifted around the rim, like with little different finishes, like almost like not Wilt Chamberlain-esque, but with his hand size. He does these kind of weird kind of finishes that not a lot of guys do, I feel like. I just been trying to say this for like the whole podcast basically is like if he shoots within the key, they're gonna be one of the best teams in the league, if not the champion.
Yeah, but there's 2 things. You put that wall in front of Giannis, I think his offensive game suffers. And the wall that the Suns had to offer was Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Crowder, and Ayton. That's a pretty small wall, like, to deal with. I still think there's ways to deal with him. I'm still taking Kevin Durant all day, any day, over him. I think KD is the best player. Yeah, if you have a healthy Nets roster, I mean, KD's unstoppable in a whole nother, like, he's just spectacular. Giannis he had the probably top 4 NBA finals ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. We got to give him.
So I'm not like trying to hate on him.
No. We're not hating on him at all. He was a beast this finals. He was unreal.
Yeah, that little hook shot he hit at with like a minute 50 left.
Points. Yep, I remember it.
Yeah, that was like, oh, that's a dagger.
That's the game.
Just like,
yeah. A couple things I got to point out from the series that I got to go back to like I said earlier in the year, and just I was hard on Coach Bud. He made better adjustments than Monty Williams. He definitely went to the pick and roll a lot more earlier in the game with Middleton and him. He waited late early in the first 2 games. He didn't do that. They started pressuring Paul game 3 a lot more. Game 2 actually has started a little bit, but they kind of made slight more adjustments and stuff like that. And they were really maybe they just told Giannis or Giannis figured it out, but they really started crashing the glass a lot more. You pointed out like the first time we did this that they weren't offensive rebounding very well, but they did a good job this one. Hey, let me get the Suns' take real quick before we get out of here. Paul, I kind of want to focus on him. He played, I don't even know what he was hurt, but he definitely played like he at least really wanted a game 7 tonight. You know, I give him that. Like he showed out tonight. He played well. It wasn't like his best career game or anything like that, but you kind of wish this was the game he got in game 5, right? And they probably go to a game 7 now if he gets this.
Absolutely. Especially when he didn't even play 40 minutes. So like, something's wrong right there. Like your best player is not even going to get the 40 when you're losing the whole game too, basically.
Yeah, he was.
What happened on that dribble? What happened on that dribble? Like where he just like was trying to cross over in the 4th quarter. Is that his left hand? He can't dribble with his left hand. It's too hurt, or is that just what I'm talking about? Where
yeah, I did. I saw that.
Tried to cross over to the middle, and it was just a weird play, and he played good though. He was shooting great.
Yeah, he was definitely more aggressive though. Like he was shooting better. Like he was 11 for 19, so he definitely had more. Definitely was more into the game. So that was a little. If I was a Suns fan, I would have been like, "Man, where was that last game?
Where was that
yesterday? You would have won the game if that was you. If you were there doing this last game." And that's the thing in these finals. It comes down to that, like sometimes that just losing that one home game. And we look at the other games too, but like I guarantee the Suns are going to look back and be like, "We should have won. I was at home. We should have won." So that's how they're going to look at it too. So. Is Paul fall into that like Stockton category even more now, or does he kind of fall more into that Gary Payton category, or he gets that one finals?
Gary Payton got a championship though.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, well, if it wasn't for that last one at the very end, like maybe Paul still gets one at the very end with like the Mavericks 5 years from now with Luka.
I mean, if he got, I don't know. John Stockton has numbers that are unmatched.
Paul feels more like a Gary Payton, let's say. You know what I mean? Like he kind of no championship, made it to the finals one time, maybe with a team that
respected amongst his peers.
Yeah. He just kind of like. I wasn't a big fan of Paul, so not good. You had the Suns winning it. Sorry. All right. I did have the Bucks winning it so I feel good about that. Our guy Savage that we're gonna interview on Sunday, he had the Bucks in 6, so we'll probably get his take a little bit more on it as well. All right, let me get you on this last thing real quick. Biggest surprise, biggest disappointment, just a couple things from the finals that stood out to you. Funny, not funny, anything that stood out to you from the finals. Kind of just hit it to me.
My biggest surprise was the way Booker played in game 6. He just he couldn't hit a shot, couldn't hit a big shot. And he just seemed mentally frustrated. He just seemed frustrated. Like the whole game. It's like he was looking for something to be pissed off about. He wasn't like, he didn't play his best game. I mean, he had that game 5 where he played his best game and they didn't win. I think he was just kind of frustrated with all that.
I'm going to go to a different
route. What was the other part of the question? What?
All right, well, I'll go with a couple of things that stood out to me in the finals, like just surprises, disappointments, anything about the finals that stood out to you, like last little thoughts here. A couple of random thoughts, and then you can get back to the game if you want. I got a kick out of the fan zoom-ins where they tried to make it look like a video game. Did you notice
that? They did do that.
And they did it on some weird people, I felt like. They did on
like game 1 with that freaking guy on acid.
Yeah, but even like
and then the money guy.
Yeah, even today with the Bucks fans, I just kept getting a kick out of that. I was like, what the heck was this like video game type? Like, except for like the video game, it was even more like robotic. They were like, right? Like they would move like that on the side. That's what it kind of looked like there. And then listening to the whole finals, it makes you kind of realize why Mark Jackson maybe doesn't have a head coaching job. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like every time it's like Jeff Van Gundy's like, yeah, I don't know. Like you can tell
you're an idiot, Mark.
What like Mark's like, he'll be like, yeah, you just gotta let Devin Booker cook. Go 1-on-1 with Giannis when he's feeling good. And Jeff's like, well, I don't know if that's the best offense that you could get at that time. And like, so it's like, I this isn't me hating on Mark, but you just little things like that.
But you hate Jeff Van Gundy as a coach.
I hate Jeff Van Gundy too.
You hate Jeff Van Gundy.
But I agree with his points. I'm like, yeah, Mark, you're way off on some of that stuff, buddy. Like, I don't know what you're thinking about right there. I can see. So that was a couple things that stood out to me in the finals.
Jeff Van Gundy's best call was when Chris Paul misses that. I feel like with like 7.5 minutes left, misses that technical foul when Bobby, the psychopath Portis, goes running down the court and gets a tee.
Oh yeah.
And Chris Paul misses a free throw, and he goes, somewhere Rasheed Wallace is saying, "Ball don't lie." And
I'm gonna miss talking about Bobby Portis with you. That's about these little NBA reactions. That's what I miss the most. You call him psychopath in game 3 and me now loving him after that. That's gonna be the part I miss the most about doing.
He played well tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know that was. I like doing these reactions ones with the games. We're gonna have to wait a little bit now to do it. We're gonna have to wait till next NBA season. Probably do a big game here. Maybe there'll probably be at some point there in the regular season. There'll be a big game, but yeah, it's good doing the. What was your biggest thought with the? Let me get one last part with the finals, and then we'll get out of here. Disappointment from it. What was like your kind of who kind of disappointed you in a little bit?
The Suns role players. There was no and Chris Paul.
Yeah, Paul was not as much of that.
They didn't play good enough. I thought Bridges would be better.
It's so weird
especially after the first 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird after that.
And then they just sucked.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the same after that. That's where I was hoping the Suns would be able to maybe pull it out tonight to get a game 7, but wasn't meant to be. Giannis was just too much. He was by far the best player in the series. They had nobody that could match him. Ayton was. We got to get to Ayton for a second too. Then he got nothing tonight. Nothing.
He can't guard Giannis.
And he had nothing offensively.
Who's the best guy who could guard Giannis in the whole NBA? It's Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I was going to say probably.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I would say probably Durant would probably be the first guy I would say.
And he doesn't even play defense in the regular
season. And then
season.
Andrew Wiggins maybe or something.
Maybe next year in the finals. Can't wait to see it.
Maybe Wiseman. We can get into Wiseman's potential with Savage on Sunday as well. So, all right, man. Well, good reaction to the podcast there. I guess we'll have to wait now. Next season, we'll get Warriors. Hopefully, we'll be doing the finals with the Warriors in it next year. That'll be the key.
Stay healthy, Clay. Stay healthy.
Can we make it to game one? That's what we just want. Game one. Just at least
Exactly.
what. It was nice
Get
seeing
her
him.
playing basketball in the NBA.
Well, you can watch him in Space Jam too if you want to get a little early look at him. So there you go. You got to get a look at him there.
I'll pass on that.
All right, guys. Thanks for doing the reaction podcast. Check out some of the other ones out there. Also, Let's Be Real podcast. They're doing one after tonight, so check out theirs as well. All right, we'll see you guys next NBA season. See you, T. Later.
Go Dubs.